Hello, October Panic Attack YouTube community. This is Dante, and I am so excited that this season is starting 2014. And it seems like the haunted attractions are opening earlier and earlier in the season. But the great thing for all of us Halloween magical fans is that the earlier they're open, they seem to have some amazing deals going on. I mentioned Fright Factory in Philadelphia having an amazing deal in September, and Eastern State Penitentiary Terror Behind the Walls had such a great deal. We our schedule wasn't even planning on originally attending this attraction this year, but basically their deal was so amazing, and I heard they had a new attraction, the Machine Shop, being added this year for 2014 season. That I was like, my gosh, we got to go. A couple things to know is the price was $13, and they have a lot. They have a variety of prices. The earlier you go, like in the month of September, and then throughout October, there are a couple high price nights. One thing to know is that some of those prices might be online, and some of those don't include a service charge. Also, Eastern State Penitentiary utilizes time slots, and you might get there, and the earliest time slot they might have might be 9:30, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to go until 9:30. Most likely, you could go in right away, and it's 7 o'clock at night. But they will sell in time slots, but don't take those time slots like too seriously. Chances are you're going in right away. Now, one thing I will definitely tell you, I've gone to Eastern State Penitentiary's Terror Behind the Walls for many years, have a lot of great memories there and a lot of nostalgia there. And one of the things that I will tell you is that I've never seen crowds this huge this early on. I don't know what's going on, but typically you'd go like opening night and it would be pretty dead. But it looks like a Saturday in October, like almost. But a Saturday in October is completely out of control. One other thing I want to mention to you guys also before I talk about the haunt is the parking situation. The parking is very, very almost impossible to find parking around Eastern State because it's a very, very busy area with a lot of great restaurants, a lot of great attractions, and you better know how to parallel park, or you better pay some cash. I believe it's like $16, $17 to do the ghost bus from the Philadelphia zoo, I believe, or you're going to pay $20 at their at a parking lot in the middle, and the parking lot can get pretty overcrowded and a little bit chaotic. And sometimes they will actually take your car keys because they are parking all over the place. So just know all this before you go, and allow yourself some time, and don't freak out too much if this happens to you. Just know that this is what's going down, and so Eastern State Penitentiary parking situation, you got to know this, okay? 2013 was my favorite time at Eastern State Penitentiary since, like, I don't know, probably like the first times or something. I don't even remember. But it was unbelievable. It was the year that they instituted a brand new section, or a brand new opportunity to get touched with a red X on your face. And it was a host of changes, and a new attraction, and just this whole aspect of a more physical haunt with touching, grabbing, more interaction with the actors and yourself. There was a new kind of waiting area, it seemed. And this year they added a new attraction called the Machine Shop. They still have the touching option with the red X, which is pretty sticky, by the way. And then some changes to some of the existing attractions as well. Eastern State Penitentiary this year, one of the things that I noticed was overall for the touching, it did not seem to be touched as much consistently and grabbed as we were last year in 2013, but there were a couple instances when I was touched more than I ever was last year in 2013, where people took me and threw me into a cage and mocked beating me up, and I really felt like I was just getting I was getting totally bullied in school or something. It was insane. It was totally crazy. So there were some bursts of touching, and even like outside of the actual haunt, when you're in the food area or when you're in like a line or something, some of the actors are just completely insane. You know who I'm talking about. Pinning me up against a wall, his face a half an inch away from my face. Eastern State Penitentiary, as you know, has daytime tours throughout the year, which are creepy in and of themselves because of this structure. They say that this structure has the most ghost hunters or paranormal investigators out of any place in the, I believe, in the country. And there have been many TV shows on this. They used to show, I miss it, they used to show the TV show, the old MTV TV show Fear, while you were waiting in line on multiple standard definition televisions in line. And this is really a place that even historically in the daytime is extremely creepy. Some people believe it's even more creepy when the Halloween stuff is not in there. And they have been adding and adding and adding to this haunted attraction, Terror Behind the Walls, year after year, and I got to give major props to that for doing that. Also, in massive price cuts this year, the earlier that you go. So it really gives you an opportunity. And I mentioned Fright Factory with a massive price cut in the month of September. So here are two Philadelphia haunts that have some great price cuts. Essentially, you could go to both in one weekend and spend under $30. I mean, that's crazy. When there are haunts that are charging, over 40, just for one. So, I mean, it's a great deal, and definitely check their website for all that. But you are literally in a real historical penitentiary here. So you're really dealing with a historical place, a place that you would see in a ghost hunter show, okay? And then they add in their own terrifying atmosphere. Now, these guys have a variety of attractions. They say they have 6 attractions. I mean, it's almost like 7 attractions here. Okay, so you're really paying for about 7 attractions. It can take you about an hour to get through. Like I said before, there could be massive lines here, okay? But so you really want to orchestrate what you're doing, okay? And there could be some herding of people going through here, so you got to be careful when you go, how slow you go, things like that. But this was, this is a place that in and of itself is creepy. And they have excellent music outside of this place with these great gargoyles, and it's just towering, claustrophobic looking place. I mean, if you've never been there before. And this place gets a lot of props on television and everywhere during this time of year and all throughout the year as a haunt that a lot of people just, absolutely love, of course. And it is a place that you definitely have to give some props to for constantly adding things. Now, this was an interesting year because, for me, their 3D attraction was unbelievable. I felt like they made the most changes to their 3D attraction than they ever have before. So really, constantly making changes. And they had some stuff in that 3D attraction this year, just very successful, awesomely successful. There was a Medusa-looking woman that was just mind-blowing. And I will say that their Night Watch attraction hit a peak for me this year. There were elements of claustrophobic situations that reminded me of the tunnels in Penhurst, actually. So Night Watch and the 3D were definitely my highlights. And, this is a place that is, it's let's just say if you have any problems with flashing lights or epilepsy, do not go to Terror Behind the Walls. It probably utilizes the most strobe lights that I've seen in a haunted attraction, definitely up there that I can remember. Tons and tons and tons of strobe lights in this place. So if you don't like strobe lights, you're going to have a problem here, okay? And lots of loud noises, lots of sounds, this is a loud, extremely loud. I mean, I would say one of the loudest. They implement a lot of loud scare tactics, electric loud scare tactics in this place. And so you have to definitely be ready for that. I think I said this last year. Unbelievably excellent music in the infirmary attraction, which was my favorite, I think, last year in 2013. But the music in the infirmary, the sound design in the infirmary is just excellent. Eastern State Penitentiary, definitely thriving on their environment. I mean, what they have, and the actors, the actors get trained, and the actors, I would say, the actors do a darn good job here. And the situations and the aura of this place and the atmosphere of this place are just really, really awesome. For the 2014 season, I would say if you've been here before, there's enough to bring you back for something different. Like I said, Night Watch and the 3D were my favorites this year, so it changed from last year. Not as touchy overall, but I had a couple instances where it was like a couple times where it was the touchiest I've ever had, at Eastern State. So Eastern State is constantly changing things. The machine shop was a cool place. One of my friends that went, that was their favorite. They changed up the food area a bit. If you want a picture, you just got to be prepared to pay a good deal of money. This is not a place that gives you a free picture. But it's a great time, and you definitely want to take advantage of the cheaper prices. So Eastern State Penitentiary, Terror Behind the Walls, very loud, tons of strobe lights, a touching option that could get pretty crazy, and just a kind of a very disturbing environment. And I believe they even added kind of like a ghost hunt section in 2014 also. And the machine shop is a brand new attraction, and they keep changing and adding different things, and it's a really, really creepy place. The unfortunate thing is you have to deal with crowds here, and you've got to be prepared. If you have to go to the bathroom, you got to use those porta potties out the street and stuff, or go to a local restaurant and get something. They have some amazing packages at Eastern State Penitentiary. You have to go on their website. I mean, if you got the cash, you can do some very, very unique things. I would almost say that if you have the cash to maybe do these unique opportunities over going to a night at the regular haunt. They have some stuff where, you're kind of isolated by yourself in this place. They have a dinner package thing, VIP with a dinner. There are a lot of packages you want to check out on the site. If you have some extra cash to spend, Eastern State Penitentiary really, I would say, has some of the coolest special things. And I think the more alone you would be at this haunt, the better. And that's a difficult thing, and it'll cost you a little bit more. But that said, Eastern State Penitentiary, Terror Behind the Walls 2014, thank you for that mysterious music that plays outside of your haunt. And thank you for music that I don't hear at any other haunts at this place. I think that's pretty consistent. I never hear any of the standard haunted house music at this place. They got like their own stuff. And the sound design in the infirmary is kick-ass. So anyway, there you go, folks. 2014 season, Eastern State Terror Behind the Walls. If this sounds cool to you, then go check it out. And they also have a daytime tour that is really, really cool and really cheap. And I believe Steve Buscemi for Boardwalk Empire and countless other films like Fargo still kind of gives you like an audio tour through it. They got really cool gift shops. I counted 2 gift shops this time around with some really cool stuff. And watch out, because some of the actors are pretty buck wild here. You never know which of these 100 actors are going to be really buck wild, and some of them are. If you're scared of the dark, you're in trouble in Night Watch. If you're claustrophobic, you're in trouble in Night Watch. Folks, let's get this season going. And if you didn't already know, send an email down below to apartment1014films@gmail.com if you'd like to check out the official October Panic Attack films, Book 1 and Book 2, which premieres in September. Thank you so much, and let's keep the magic alive. Happy October Panic Attack 2014. That's right. Yes, yes!